and important is this kind of first decision for you here with the new guy?
You bet your ass it's important, okay? I don't want to be having a revolving door of coaches here. I want to try to make the best decision I can be and make it, the best decision possible. And, hopefully we can have somebody here for a long while.
That's what folks who have ties to the Steelers organization always say. And he was a minority owner of the Steelers, a Pittsburgh guy. He ideally would like to hire a coach and have that coach be there for a long time. So our draft today, the candidates we'd hire, or at least considered to be hired for the Carolina Panthers head coaching job. It's a 3-man weave. It's a 3-round draft. And Chris Sims has the trivia question for Peter King. And I already object because the way this should go is if Peter's wrong, I should get the first pick. But apparently I won't. Chris, go ahead, ask the question.
Well, it's your show, and Stats doesn't have a microphone. Stats doesn't have a microphone. So if you want the first pick and Peter gets this wrong, go ahead. The hell with Stats. All right, here we go. The Panthers fired 2-time Coach of the Year, Ron Rivera, as you guys know. There are only 2 other active head coaches that have won multiple Coach of the Year awards. One is Bill Belichick. We know that. Mr. Peter King, who is the other one?
I know this one.
It's a good one, Peter. Just think. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. He's got a good personality.
I know this
Sometimes
one.
he turns a little red on the sidelines.
What the hell? What are we talking? How many hints are you going to give him? You never give me a damn hint, Sims.
He likes.
Come on, give me one more hint. I was going to say Tom Coughlin after you just said red.
Sometimes he likes to fill his drink with liquor after games, and he talks about it.
His name is Bruce Arians.
Bam!
Yeah.
Woo!
Why did you say? Why did you just say he's the Buccaneers head coach too? Jesus.
Way to go, Peter. Way to go, buddy. Oh, Florio, you're third. Well, too bad.
I don't even want the first pick, but my first pick is I'm going to take the guy who I believe is going to show David Tepper that he's the most prepared, and that's Josh McDaniels.
Oh, Peter.
Because what?
Damn you.
Yes?
That was going to be my pick.
Oh. Look, I believe that
you shouldn't have given him so many damn hints, dummy. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I just believe if there is going to be a time, and McDaniels some years has sort of wanted to go, I think, and some years has wanted to stay. Look, there's going to be so much flux at the end of this year that who knows? I think McDaniels would be a good guy. I think he learned a lot from the failed time in Denver a decade ago. But there's one interesting thing. I've always thought that Josh McDaniels would only go to a place that had a quarterback. And so would he go to a place where they're going to start at ground zero from quarterback? I don't know. But I'll take McDaniels number 1.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That would be my number 1. Again, I was there in Denver with Josh. There was a lot of things that went wrong that were not fair to him, and we don't have enough time to get into that, but that would be my number 1 pick. I'm with you all the way. All right, number 2, I guess I'm going to go with Robert Saleh here from the San Francisco 49ers, the defensive coordinator. I mean, if you're looking to re-energize your team, your town a little bit, he's got a great fire and way about him. Of course, they're the number 1 defense in football in a lot of categories. I know that the Patriots have them beat in points per game, but the 49ers are right there to be had. Of course, he knows what a good offense looks like, and I know everybody wants the offensive guy. I get that. But he's been around a guy like Kyle Shanahan, who I think has taught him a lot of offense. So he's going to understand what he wants within an offense. And Mike, as you've heard me say a million times, and Peter, you heard me say it once today, Robert Saleh does game plan specific things. He runs that Seattle defensive scheme, but he adds his own wrinkles to it as far as blitzes and things he does on a weekly basis, and I think that would be my next pick right there.
Hey, your buddy Kyle Shanahan's going to be upset with you if you end up talking his defensive coordinator into a new job.
I did. I actually, before the pick, I was like, man, Kyle might not like that I'm doing this, but that's what I got to do. Sorry.
I got to go with Greg Roman. It's funny how over the past week or two he has instantly become one of the hot names. But you look at what he did with the 49ers offense when Colin Kaepernick was there, what he's doing with the Ravens offense. And yes, you have to have the pieces to make it happen. But, man, he could do some interesting things with Cam Newton if they decide to keep him around for another year. And I think that Greg Roman is very good at designing an offense to get the most out of the pieces that he has. And, the danger with hiring a defensive coach who goes out and gets a good offensive coordinator, if that guy's good, he's going to be gone, right? The offensive coordinator is far more likely to get hired away than the defensive coordinator. So get an offensive coach, hire a defensive coordinator that you think can get it done, and take it from there. So I'd go with Greg Roman as my first pick.
Now, the thing that I want to ask there, then it's like that's where the Cam Newton discussion becomes interesting, right? Because you would think Greg Roman wants a guy like Cam Newton so he can run his offense and all these cool run design things. So I just think that's
Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey. Can you imagine what Greg Roman could do with those two? Peter,
no doubt.
All right, you're up round 2.
I'm going to take Mike McCarthy with the first pick of the second round. And I'll tell you why. I think David Tepper is going to, he certainly is going to sit in on these interviews and is going to be very proactive in this process. I think he's going to be blown away when he meets Mike McCarthy, because Mike McCarthy this fall has been basically having a boot camp of trying to learn and study every other team in the NFL. And so I think he's going to come in with a lot of new ideas. He understands, I believe, that the impression is that he sort of got stale in Green Bay. Whether it's right or whether it's wrong, that's the impression. So I think he's going to come in there. I think he's going to blow away David Tepper in an interview. But just remember one thing. Tepper really wanted Ron Rivera to embrace analytics more than he did. So I think he's going to be asking everybody when he interviews them, how willing are you to accept new ideas and to, hire an analytics staff?
It's a good pick by you. He was on my list as well. And Mike McCarthy deserves to be a head coach. I mean, come on. He's a Super Bowl winning head coach. My issue with him was offensive creativity. I just wish he brings more ideas to the table. That would be the only question I have about him. But as far as, running the ship and doing the things properly, as far as building a team and doing all that stuff, toughness, he is. He's phenomenal that way. All right, I'm going to go with another guy in Baltimore. I'm going with Don Wink Martindale. I mean, again, the defense in Baltimore is every bit as impressive as the offense. Their ability to do crazy things game plan wise, week in, week out. You talk about the analytics thing. I know Baltimore's very into analytics, and they're on the cutting edge of some of the things they're doing down there. So that to me, again, it's another defensive guys, but defensive guys know how to manage games. They know how to run the ball, and I am into the era of you can't just play defense and go, this is what we do and we're going to be sound. It's just changed the world. It's changed. Quarterbacks are too good. Offenses are too creative. The receivers are too good. Running backs can catch the ball. If you're not willing to bend your defensive rules on a week-to-week basis and come up with different stuff to stop a different offense and then how they attack you, then you're doing yourself a bad, what do I want to say, a disfavor to your team. And I think Don Wink Martindale.
Close enough.
Thank you.
Disservice.
Wink Martindale would be up there for me.
Hey, I think the Andy Reid assistants have kind of the shine has gone off a little bit this year with Matt Nagy and Doug Peterson, the Eagles struggling. I still think Eric Bieniemy deserves consideration. Yeah. He got none last year for reasons that are neither obvious nor apparent, and I think that he should get consideration. And you can bring that mindset of the Andy Reid offensive system. If you're looking for an offensive coach, I think it makes a ton of sense. I would just want to know what his plan is on defense, because Andy Reid's defenses haven't been very good in Kansas City, but I would seriously consider Eric Bieniemy as my second pick.
Maybe you should make Luke Kuechly player coach. My third guy would be Kevin Stefanski of the Minnesota Vikings. He came close to getting the Cleveland job last year. There are people in the Cleveland front office who absolutely loved Kevin Stefanski. I think he's ready. I think he embraces analytics. And I think he can show David Tepper, I had a quarterback who was struggling, and he's played significantly better in all moments in 2019 in Kirk Cousins. So I think he would give him the requisite faith that he could either develop Cam Newton into the kind of offense he wanted to play, or he could go get another quarterback and develop him.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. There's a lot of names to pick from. I'm not sure where I want to go here because Dennis Allen, Dan Campbell down there in New Orleans are interesting.
Here he goes.
To me.
He's going to list 10 guys.
Well, because I want to give love
one.
to these guys. I'm going to go one with just the young offensive mind, okay? I'm going to fall into the trap one time. And I'm going to give Kellen Moore some props, all right? I mean, hey, listen, I questioned whether Cliff Kingsbury would work. I questioned whether Matt LaFleur would work, you know, and you know, they're proving that they're certainly worthy of the job. Kellen Moore's done a really good job with that Dallas Cowboys offense. You know, do they manage the games the proper way all the time? I'm not sure they do, but he's certainly added a lot of creativity to the offense, which has been one of my big complaints about what they do there. You know, they are the number one offense in football, or they're the number two offense, just slightly behind the Baltimore Ravens right now. No, they're number one. I was right. So I like some of the ideas he's brought to the table, and, you know, it's the era of the young offensive mind, and I think he could kind of fit that mold.
He looks like he walked out of middle school. I mean,
does.
if you're going to coach,
Sure.
if you're going to coach a team that is in the tobacco capital of the world, it would be a good idea to be old enough to smoke. So I think that's a stretch for Kellen Moore. Okay, I'm going to go to the other extreme. I'm going to go, and this one's nuts, but what the hell? You guys screwed me and gave me the third pick. We're down to selection number 9. David Tepper, Pittsburgh guy, partial owner of the Steelers. He's been out there for over a decade. I know he ain't coming back, but why not swing for the fences and go after Bill Cowher, baby? Bring him back. He was linked to the Panthers 10, 11, 12 years ago. Go after Bill Cowher. They got John Gruden after almost 10 years to come out of whatever he was, retired from coaching, but in broadcasting. Cowher's been in the same gig. Bring him back. Get him to Carolina. Wouldn't that be a great story? I love a great story. Bill Cowher returning after 12 years would be awesome.
It would be an awesome story. The question is, you know, does he want to do it? I have not heard one scintilla of evidence that suggests that Bill Cowher either A, misses coaching, or B, really wants to be a coach. So unless you've got the ethos of Dick Vermeil and you would walk from Philadelphia to Charlotte for that job, I mean, I think Bill Cowher really likes his New York, New Jersey life right now. I can't see it, but who knows?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.